I'm going to be remiss if I didn't go over and complete yesterday's video on how the techniques that Bree used, and she mentioned several, which I'll go over one of them on today's video, on how she became zero, nothing to do with sales and no knowledge about sales, to becoming the #1 in sales production in her region with the company that she's with. She mentioned one of the things that I'll go over. I'll revisit the other techniques. She mentioned several. There's a lot that I want to point out, but we didn't have time yesterday. Was frame control. And I think is really, really powerful. And what does that have to do, Rowan, with powerful communication? So I mentioned yesterday that sales is merely a category or a format of influence. Let me say that in different terms. Sales is just one of the levels of influence. In other words, sales is influence, nothing more, nothing less. The only thing that makes the distinction between sales and regular communication that you have with your friends or your family or your lover is that there's a transaction involved. You are, like I mentioned yesterday, you may not have to see yourself as a sales professional. You can see yourself as a conversion professional. You convert them from someone who is not buying into someone who is buying. In other words, you close the transaction at that moment. The term that they like to refer to it is you're a closer. And so remember the 4 levels that we teach in the Great Relationships University on communication. There are 4 levels: primary levels, fundamental levels, foundational levels, one-to-one, one-to-many, sales, where there's a transaction involved, a monetary transaction, and then there's marketing. And we'll go over that in other videos. So she mentioned, I'll visit today, just very briefly, frame control. Because sales is merely a level of influence, they're all influence. I'll show you how it applies into your regular communication, in your regular daily interaction with normal people. It could make you a better communicator with your clients, your customers, your supervisor, your boss, your business partners, your negotiations. Remember what I talked about yesterday. If you don't believe that all communication is negotiation, you're already behind the curve. When you recognize that all communication is negotiation, at the very least, you're negotiating an appreciation from the other party, then you will become a powerful communicator. So, powerful communication is effective and efficient communication. When you conflate effectiveness and efficiency, you come to the word elegance. Effectiveness and efficiency is elegant. Elegant communication is when you're effective and you're efficient. And that is powerful communication. Sure, you can communicate in a way that's influential, where you make a sale, you get a transaction, but you can have the same powerful influence where the transaction may not be monetary, and it could be just appreciation or understanding or getting your point across to the other person. Why would this be important to you? How do you communicate your point of view to your friend? How do you get your son or child or some kid to not do drugs, not do dangerous behavior, not be a violent criminal? How do you do that? You become a powerful communicator. So let me go over the technique now before I end the video. Frame control. What is frame? A frame is something that holds a picture within it. If you look on a wall, and you see a picture, and it could be, for example, I'll give you an example. You could take any photo and just put it on the wall, and no one the wiser that goes into your house and looked at the photo has no idea how much you paid for it. And you could say, well, I paid $1,000 for it or $1 million for it. But when you put the same photo, which you bought for $7, and you put a really, really nice frame around it, you could say, I bought this for $1 million, and no one would be the wiser, and people would believe you because it's under a great frame. If you've seen any sort of art or abstract art, you have some idea of what I'm saying. A frame is just how you perceive things. For example, if you put glasses on and you're looking at a sunset, and the other person puts a different colored glass on, you would say, oh, look, the skyline is red, because you have red sunglasses, red tinted sunglasses. And your friend says, no, it's blue. What do you mean red? Because it has a different frame around the perspective. So she talked about the frame control of when she just started, she thought of sales as sleazy and pushy. And so what we helped her to do with the Great Relationship University, and with her practicing on her own accord, she does a lot of things on her own accord, so I give her a lot of credit for that, she's amazing, is that sales is merely helping people, I want you to pay attention, helping people get what they already wanted from the beginning. That's also what seduction is. Seduction is helping build comfort so that the other person gets what they wanted to do already. How do you help somebody get a car? They get a car, they're in your dealer because they want a car. You just have to get out of their way, help them get the car, and build comfort and confidence in them to get what they wanted to do already. They're in the massage studio because they wanted to get a massage. Your job is to help them get more information, build comfort and confidence in them to get what they wanted to get already. That is what sales is. Sales is just merely the transaction involved in the ending. And you can't provide a service, you can't help people until there's a transaction involved. You can't help the person get the massage that they wanted or get the car that they wanted without a transaction. Sales is an amazing thing. Helping people get what they wanted to do already. Perhaps watching this, you'll want to get into sales because you'll want to help other people. So what's one technique that I can show you right now to help you with your daily communication so you can become powerful? I'll teach you 3 things. Number 1 is learn how to become very, very good at finding out the need of the other person. Professionally, you can ask questions like, oh, well, I'll go into that later on, but learn to be very good at finding out what people want and need. My favorite question is, what sorts of things are you into? I presume that every single person is different from me